Hello, and welcome to a Talisman Digital Edition developer stream, where me, Tom, part of the team here at Nomad Games, I'm going to play some Talisman Digital Edition for you all, because I figured I'd got a little free time. It's been a busy month here at Nomad, but I thought I'd chill out, play some Talisman, answer some questions, and just generally have a nice time. So let me just press all the buttons that I need to press, because there's a lot of buttons that need pressing. Hey, SSTOJ, Toj? Not sure how to pronounce that, but I'll try my best. Press all the things that I need to press. How is everyone doing that's watching? I hope you are all good. Like I said, it's been a dodge. Alright, cool. Got it. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy week. Pretty busy month here at Nomad. We've officially announced the 40th edition of, what's the actual title? Talisman Digital Edition 40th Anniversary Collection. So we officially announced that. So for anyone that doesn't know, that is a physical release of Talisman Digital Edition for PC, Switch, and PlayStation. That is coming out soon. For anyone that's wondering why I've not been able to give a huge amount of information about this, it's because there's an external company to us that they are the ones that are sorting out the physical release. So we've provided everything they need, and they're the ones that have sorted out the actual release. So I've never done a physical release of a game before, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm unaware of in terms of shipping times and delivery times and stuff like that. But I'm under the impression that you should be seeing it in stores fairly soon. That's my impression. So if you do get a hand on it, let us know, because we'd love to hear what you think about it. Last time I did a stream, someone pointed out that I wasn't playing enough game and I was spending too long talking. So let's actually play a game. I think that sounds like a good idea, right? Alright, so let's roll a dice. And so this is the game that I was playing on the last stream. So let's go ahead and what have we got here? We've got a Lore Master, cool, and a Boring Woods. Let's go here. Let's go here. Have I got my full complement of spells? I do. So I should probably use some of these. So, let's have a look. Right, I'll let everyone else do their turn. Hey Tom, how are you? I hope the 40th anniversary preparation wasn't too exhausting. It wasn't too bad. The benefit that we had was because it was being handled by an external company. They basically had a list of things that they needed from us, and once we gave them that list, they were like, okay, cool, we'll go off and do the things that we need to do. But obviously, I've never handled a physical release of a game before, so I had no idea what was going on a lot of the time, to be completely honest. It's sort of magic that I don't understand. I'd like to understand it more, but I think they're quite a busy company, so I think they were a bit too swamped to be like, here's all the information that I can give you about all the cool stuff that we're doing. Alright, I want to actually look at my spells. So, who's got gold? No. Alright. So let's queue up that one. So yeah, it's not been too exhausting. I wouldn't say exhausting is probably not the right word. stressful, I'd say, just because, like I said, there's been a lot going on, and a lot that we've never dealt with before, so it was a bit of a nightmare to get everything together. And there's a lot of approvals that you need to go through, and so there's approvals. How many approvals did we need to go through? We need to go through 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 sets of approvals before something could be officially like signed off and ready to use. So it just made everything take longer than you'd expect it to. But we got there. It's coming out, and we're super excited for people to get their hands on it, because like a lot of people have been asking, is it different to the normal digital edition? Like, does it contain anything different? And no, it is just a physical release of the digital edition, and everything that was released physically. So every single expansion that was ever released physically is included in it as well. And like I said, it's on Switch, PlayStation, and PC. It says, I know it's probably a long shot, since I'm sure all the rights are a tangled mess and not too related to digital game side, but you wouldn't happen to know if anyone was planning on picking up the physical board game again, would you? So we hear rumblings, because obviously we talk directly to Games Workshop quite a bit, but I've not heard anything about anyone picking up the physical board game rights at the moment. So, because I know, was it Pegasus who did the last printing? I'm not sure if those are still, if they've stopped printing, or if they lost the rights. I'm not sure. Obviously we deal with the digital side of it, which is very different. Yeah, Pegasus was the last one. I thought it was Pegasus. No, we've not heard anything about anyone doing anything else with the physical version. So, sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I do have 9 life though, which is quite nice. Hey, Free Chipeachy, Free C, whatever we're gonna end up calling you today. Let me just double check that I've pressed all the buttons that I need to press. I'm pretty sure. Alright, YouTube isn't working, but that's fine. That's fine, honestly. It's so fine. Nothing to worry about. Alright. Let me just check. I'm worried since I already have all the boxes of 4th edition, but it would be nice to see some new stuff come out for it. Yeah, I think, so while we don't know, I can't speak much to like whether or not who's going to have the physical rights. I can speak a little bit when it comes to new stuff. I don't think there's, from what I've heard anyway, obviously there'll be internal discussions at Games Workshop that I'm not a part of. From what I've heard, they don't have any plans to bring out anything new at the moment. But like I said, they could be keeping things secret from me, so who knows. There seem to be only rumours and nothing more. Yeah, I've seen a couple of, like on the Talisman subreddit, a couple of people have been like, oh, I've seen this thing about the 5th edition. It'll happen if it happens, but like nothing that I've seen so far points as like oh yeah, it's a guaranteed thing. Who are you and what did you do to Tom? I'm still Tom. I've just been incredibly lazy over the last few weeks, so I haven't bothered to shave my face, which is why I probably look like I'm 15 years old, but genuinely just been a bit lazy. Alright, we've got Horn of Summoning. You may blow the horn. Well, that's all I need to know. Don't need to read the rest of the card. Before you encounter the space, you may move one face of enemy in the same region to your space. You may do this once per turn. Cool. A bit more control over what I encounter. It's always nice. I like the new stuff you guys have added to the digital game. Thank you very much. We're very proud of the digital-only expansions. I think they're really cool. They add quite a bit to the game. Alright, we've got the Witch Doctor. But which Witch Doctor? That's the question. What ending do I even have? It's just the standard Crown of Command. Cool. That's alright. Would be interesting to see a 5th edition. To be fair, there are some rough edges we could see reworked. Might not be a bad idea. Yeah, I think we've said this to Games Workshop before, and they've pretty much agreed, is if there is a 5th edition at some point in the future, we'd really like to get involved with talking to them about how you manage your cards and how the rules work and everything like that, because to us, we've been through the process of adapting Talisman to the digital edition, and you know that was a long process, and certain cards work better than others when it comes to adapting them digitally. Like, there's a thing when it comes to digital adaptations where if you're not careful with how you word things, sometimes things can get a bit, not messy. Messy is the wrong word. If you don't word things the right way, you can leave it open to interpretation. And in a digital adaptation, you can't really do that. You can't leave it up to interpretation when someone needs to translate that into a one-to-one digital adaptation. And it's doable, but yeah, it makes it tricky, because when you're playing the physical game, you can just say, oh well, I think it works this way, so we'll just play it that way, which is fine. But when you are playing the digital version, it needs to work the same way every time and be consistent. And resolving that ambiguity can be quite the challenge. So I think if a 5th edition does happen, I've gone out of focus. Cool. If a 5th edition does happen, then we would 100% want to be involved in going over the rules and basically talking to them about, like, hey, can you just tweak the wording on this so that it's super clear what you mean, so therefore it's better to adapt digitally. And again, it might be that there's a digital adaptation that we don't get involved with. You know, we're not sitting there going, oh yeah, if there's Talisman 5th edition, we will be there and we will make the digital edition. Like, we'd obviously like to, we'd be very happy to, but it isn't a guarantee, right? A lot of the factors of who gets to do the 5th edition will obviously, you know, we've got the experience, which means a lot, and also, you know, how well the game has done over the last, how long is it now? 9 years, will impact as well. Like, as far as I'm aware, Games Workshop are really happy with how we've handled Talisman. I'm once again rambling without... What do I need to do to the Warlock? What have you got for me? Deliver 2 followers. Okay. Is the Shadow meant to be a follower? Oh, I know what's happened. I've turned it into a follower using my spell. I'll take a quest reward card. Increase your craft by 1. Okay, that's alright. Summon enemy with a storm of summoning. Got some challenge points. Cool. The biggest thing I'd change is to make the game take less than 6 hours to play. Fair. Speeding up the game's always going to be a good thing. Where do I want to go? Let's add one and go to the Oasis. Alright, let's kill this little wretched wretch. Let's automatically murder. And then let's see what we can do here. Ouch. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. I have beaten. If 5th edition ever comes out, I hope you guys get to keep digital game rights. Us too. Talisman has been very, very good to us, and the community's been very, very good to us. So, yeah, would really like to do the digital edition of 5th edition if it happens. We just have to keep our fingers crossed that Games Workshop think we're cool enough. Is the physical release going to hit stores in all of EU? As far as I'm aware, yes. I know that we've put out a English language version, a French version, and a German version, as far as I'm aware. So I actually don't know whether or not it would get released in other regions. Again, there's an external company that are doing this, so I've asked them a couple of questions, but they seem to be quite busy, unfortunately, which is a bit annoying. But so a better answer is I don't really know. Like I said, I know that there's a German language version because we needed to send off the assets to make a physical German asset version, and the box also comes in English and French. So pretty sure it's going to come out in France. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out in Germany. But other than that, I'm not 100% sure. Again, it's to do with how they distribute. It's to do with how that company distributes the game, and I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So you'll be able to order it online. That I know for sure. I usually house rule that each player gets one bonus stat cone of their choice at the start of the game, as well as a trophy trade in at 6.67 seems to cut a few hours off gameplay. Yeah, one of my favourite house rules, let me just end my turn so we can see what everyone else is doing. One of my favourite house rules in Talisman is being able to have incremental trade-in values for trophies. So like you start off at 5 and then you need 6 and then you need 7 and so on and so forth. I think it's a really good way of helping people in the early game, but also stop people from snowballing in the late game. I think it's a really good thing, and I'd really, really like to see them put that in 5th edition. Like, just have that as the baseline. Start off at 5, next one's 6, next one's 7, next one's 8. I realise like it's a bit more to remember if you're doing it physically, but I think the benefits outweigh that. Like, it's not like Talisman doesn't already have a bunch of stuff that you need to keep track of, right? Like, you need to keep track of a lot when you're playing Talisman. I've played Talisman physically quite a few times, and every time I'm like, oh my god, I can't keep track of everything that's happening. The Shield of Defiance. Nice. Right. Ooh, one other thing while I'm on stream and hanging out with you all. So we are sorting out another monthly mailbag. So this is something that we do every month. In our monthly roundup, and we basically open up the floor to questions from the community, and we share them with the entire Nomad team, and basically answer any questions that you throw at us. So if anyone has any questions, because not as we speak, because I'm streaming right now, let's encounter a space first. Draw an adventure card. A unicorn, yes, I'll take that any day. Yeah, what was I saying? Yes, so we're putting together another monthly roundup with another monthly mailbag. So we've had a couple of questions in, I believe, this month. But if anyone has anything else that they'd like to ask the Nomad Games team, not just me, the entire team, let me know, and I'll put it in our monthly mailbag questions chat that we have on the Nomad Games Discord. Not the public Nomad Games Discord, the super secret, no one else can go on it, Nomad Games Developer Discord. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions for us as a studio, or for me, or for anyone specific in the studio, like if you've got a question for our art team, if you've got a question for our design director, if you've got a question for our QA team, throw them away, because I'm always interested to hear what you guys have got to ask. And like I said, I can direct the question to whoever's in the team best suited to answer it, because sometimes we get quite a lot of technical questions that I don't know how to answer, so I normally throw them at the programming team. Alright, my turn. Let's see what we've got going on. We have a dwarf landing on a mercenary. And we have me landing on me. Alright, 5. So I could go to runes and get a warlock quest. I'll get a warlock quest. Kill one animal. I can do that. I've got 9 life. I can do that. Absolutely. Alright. While everyone else is taking their turns, the AI is having fun, it is time for everyone's favourite section. Without a doubt, everyone's most beloved section of every single stream, which is Tom bought a drink to the stream, but what drink did he bring this time? So, I've once again bought a drink. I've actually bought 2 drinks today. So if anyone wants to guess what I've bought to the stream, because I'm about to have a drink, but I don't want to have a drink and then spoil what I've got, let me know, because you guys are always quite good figuring out what I've got. A little hint, it's very, very traditional. I've not got any weird canned madness with me today. It's just pretty standard. So send me your guesses. First one that guesses it correctly, I'll think is really cool. So you've got that riding on the line. Earl Gray Tea. It is not an Earl Grey tea. You are on the right track though. Actually, speaking of questions as a studio, considering the size of Nomad and the scope of your games, how is the Unity mess impacting you? And is that something that has internally been discussed as with how it can/might affect decisions going forward, including the super secret upcoming Nomad project? That is a very good question. And the answer to that is I have written a statement regarding the Unity situation. I'm just waiting on approval of that statement. So not to give too much away, but basically we'll be fine. Like, we're not going to be that affected. Ooh, gain a craft. Yes, I'll have that. I'll take that. Yeah, basically we're not going to be too affected, but we have a lot of sympathy for developers that are going to be affected. Like, Jesus, the number of people that we've seen that have come out and said, you know, this isn't financially viable for us anymore. Like, overnight, this has become a absolute nightmare. Good news is the super secret upcoming Nomad project is made in Unreal. So we managed to dodge that one, which is quite nice. A can of Earl Grey tea is not a can of Earl Grey tea. I'm sure you'd be able to get that, like an iced tea sort of deal. Canned Earl Grey tea. So you can get it as in the tea bags are contained in a can, but I think you mean literally like a pop can. Earl Grey oat milk classic tea latte. Yep. You can indeed get it. 12 cans for 30 quid. Don't think I want that. That seems far too expensive. I imagine the programming side for this game would be quite intense, all 1,000 combinations of interactions that can happen between cards and powerful character powers and spells. Yes. Yes, it is. Talisman's been around for a long ass time, and we've built upon it with expansions on expansions on expansions. And that can make it a bit of a nightmare to figure out why something isn't working or why there's a bug, because everything's sort of built on top of each other. It's still doable, but yeah, there's a lot of interactions and a lot of strange things that can happen in very specific circumstances. But yeah, it's complicated. It's the quick answer. I don't want to get turned into a toad. A toad would be bad. Alright, not a toad. Cool. That's alright. I'll take not being a toad. As neutral character, the renegade gains all the gold. Placing this card and then departs. Well, I've got no gold, so that's okay. Can go to the castle or the ruins. Let's go to the Hall of Power. Right. A snoblin. An actual snoblin. Well, I think I'm going to beat up this snoblin, and I'll be pretty happy about that. Wasn't an animal though, which is unfortunate. No one's got it yet, what I'm drinking. But like I said, you are on the right track with Earl Gray Tea. Just not quite there. Right, Vampire Vats versus the Witch Doctor. I love the 1/1 every time, it's so sad. Yeah, amusingly satisfying. Oh, the 1/1. Yeah, it's not gonna really go well for him, is it? It does say the Woodland expansion Path of Greed didn't work at all to gain gold, but eventually got knocked out in a patch. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, because there's so many moving parts, I know that I've heard multiple times when been talking to the Talisman team, a bug will come up and they'll fix it, and something completely unrelated will break. So for example, I think the most recent one that I could think of is we updated a trophy on PlayStation 4. So we updated the trophy on PlayStation 4, like cool, sorted, like that's fine, that's all we did. And then it ended up breaking something with how the online worked on every platform. So we had to roll out a quick fix in order to obviously fix that. But the fact that we fixed a trophy on PlayStation and then that caused every other platform to have an issue playing online, you wouldn't think that that would be connected, right? Like, that's ridiculous, but that's what it is. Hey Tom and everyone, how's it going? It's going alright. Yeah, it's not too bad. Playing some nice chill Talisman. Having a nice fun time. Bucky. What? Come here. You wanna come here? No? Doesn't wanna go. Bucky. Hello? Thought I'd be able to show the cat off on stream, but he's not interested. Not interested. Missed any major news. Talisman 40th anniversary collection. That's probably the biggest thing. Is the PC version of the physical release going to be DRM free? No, you will need Steam in order to play it, unfortunately. It will come with a physical disc that you could install it off, but you still need Steam in order to play it. If you want a DRM-free version, you can always get the GOG version. So that's always an option, but no, sadly not. It's going to be a Steam key and a physical install disc, so you can just download it from Steam if you want. What do I want to do? Gain a spell? Yeah, I'll gain a spell. I love that some of Steam achievements are so specific that Talisman ones are like all my rarest achievements. Oh yeah, like I think if you go on my Steam profile, you can see that all of my rarest achievements are from Talisman. Actually, I think from Talisman and like Board Game Arena? Not Board Game Arena. Tabletop Simulator. That's it. Tabletop Simulator. What's my rarest? Yep. It's Talisman. Tabletop Simulator. Fury of Dracula. Killing Floor. And that's it. Those are my rarest. Which is pretty good. So I don't think we should need any accounts beside Nomad Games account. That's fair. That's entirely fair. However, due to the way that we needed to set up the physical release, Steam was the best option for us. Like, it just made it the easiest out of all of our potential options. And yeah, we can understand that some people wouldn't want the DRM on there, but unfortunately it does. However, I do believe Steam's pretty unintrusive. I know that it's still DRM, but I think everyone's pretty much accepted, like, Steam's doing their best to be as unintrusive as possible. Date of release yet. So, as far as I know, it should be out in 2 weeks. I know that some people said that it would be out in late September. I think we said it would be out in late September. But as far as I'm aware, 2 weeks from now, you'll be able to get it. I disagree, but let's leave that. Fair enough. Yup. Entirely fair. Good afternoon, stranger. Howdy. Howdy, Mr. Talismandy. How's it going? Alright, I've managed to mess up my stream chat, so I'm trying to figure out how to unmess that up. Hang on. Bear with me 1 second. I've managed to completely break my chat pop-up. Hey, there you go. Sorted. Disaster averted. Mid-October. Should not be tempted to get this. Yeah, I am. Fair. I mean, we knew that for some people it would be like I already have everything Talisman, I don't need it. But because it's only a digital game, I think it's quite nice to just have a physical version that you can do. Alright, it's me versus AI. So for everyone that says that the AI is completely rigged and you can never beat it, let's see what happens. Because if I beat the AI now... Oh! Alright, he's beating me on the first one. Let's see if a reroll gets it. Oh! Beat the AI on a reroll. AI not rigged confirmed. Accessibility for disabled players is getting more attention lately. I know it can be challenging for developers to add features for a small portion of the audience, so would you consider adding an option to have the game log read out loud? Ooh, we'd definitely consider it. We'd have to work out how we'd actually implement that. And I think we'd probably need to use some kind of automatic system to do it, because the amount of things that the game log can say is a lot. What do I want? Let's take an ice fang. Yeah, the amount of things that the game log could say is a lot. So we'd have to probably use some kind of text-to-speech function, which would be doable. We just need to make sure that we're careful with how we implement that. And also how it handles player names, because it does say player names in the text log. So yeah, I think we'll have to think about that. But I'll ask that in the monthly mailbag questions. So question from stream. Make sure that's formatted correctly. Cool. Yeah, I've asked in the questions chat on our Discord, so I'll see what people say. But no, that's a very good question. Mark Allen Thomas, thank you for the question. Is there anything new in the physical version? Not that I won't be getting it anyway. There's nothing new in the physical version that doesn't already exist in the digital edition. The only thing that you do get in the physical edition is there are some art cards included which feature artwork from the game. And you get a box and a disc or cartridge before you do that. So yeah, there's nothing new, but there's stuff, if that makes sense. You re-rolled and it was a different number, witchcraft. Ah yes, so what happened was I pressed the secret button that tells you the game that you're a developer, so it gives me good rolls. It's not many people know about that. I might pick up the PlayStation version after all. Fair enough. Is there a chance for Talisman, the Realms of Legend, an expansion that connects the forest and the highlands? It was made by John, who created the Deep Realms expansion that connects the city to the dungeon. There's a chance, yes. If it's, like I said, like you're saying, it's a fan-made expansion in the same way that Deep Realms was. So there is a chance. Whether or not we'd actually do it is another question. But no, I think we've had enough requests for a new expansion that connects existing expansions that we know that it's on the top of people's lists. Alright, I'm going to beat up this hermit, and by beat up, I'm going to tell him to go to the Cursed Glade. Which is like beating up. Also, no one got my thing right. I've got tea. A good tea. Yes, can confirm. PC, PS4 and Switch are the platforms that you'll be able to get the 40th anniversary collection on. So yeah, Seth, to answer your question, there is a chance, but we'd need to make sure that the stars aligned properly, which would, you know, it's not easy to make the stars align with this kind of stuff. Like I've said multiple times on previous streams, we are still working on Talisman when we can, but we are a small studio, and we are currently knee deep in, on one side is Catan Console Edition, which we are making a bunch of content for, and then the super secret project that I can't talk about yet, but I am dying to talk about, but I can't talk about just yet, which is annoying, but hey ho. As someone who is slowly, and taking at least 10 years losing their sight, text-to-speech would be a good addition. I would miss playing my favourite game. Yeah, text-to-speech, I think, would be a very nice feature. We just need to find the time to implement it and see how much of a mess it would be to do so. Because I know that out of all of the different parts of Talisman Digital Edition, the game log is probably one of the toughest to program with. It's just a bit of a coding nightmare. So yeah, poor Xbox people. What exclusives they have is Starfield even exclusive. Well, you can get it on PC. You can get it on PC, right? I know that it came out on Xbox first, I want to say, or am I thinking wrong? I don't know. I've not really kept it up on it because I'm planning on picking it up in like 2 years, 3 years when the Ultimate Edition is out with all the DLC, which is how I tend to play Bethesda games. An Infernal Legion? Well, I don't like that. I most definitely do not like that. Have I got any kind of spell that I can use? No. A Mighty One. Great. Alright. Well, I'm gonna have to lose that one, but not much option otherwise. Yeah, I'm trying to think why. I know there's a reason we didn't go on Xbox. I think it was to do with the process of actually getting the game approved for a physical release. I think there were some extra hoops that we needed to jump through. Balatta Boy, was there ever plans for a Timescape expansion? My favourite question that we get asked every single time. Define what you mean as plans, because I can talk to you about the Timescape expansion and what's going on with it, but in terms of plans, so the way that the plans, well, I say the way that the plans work. What are you doing? One of my cats is trying to escape out the window unsuccessfully. So, Timescape. Timescape, for anyone that doesn't know, was a expansion for the 2nd edition of Talisman, I want to say. Someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm also going to take my turn, because I want to take my turn. Let's go here. An ice bear. I can barely believe it. Cool. Yes, so 2nd edition, Talisman Timescape was a thing. And everyone has been asking for it because it's a proper fan favourite expansion. Everyone really likes Timescape, from what I can tell anyway. The issue is that Timescape came out at a point where Games Workshop were a lot more lax with the kind of ways that Warhammer was represented. So like, Blood Bowl still has a bit of that, but it's very much, Blood Bowl's very much its own thing. They don't want Space Marines and all of that sort of Warhammer core stuff to be represented in the way that Timescape represents it. Yes, you do like to wind up the Nomad team. Timescape has become a meme. If you join our Discord, there is a Timescape emoji that you can react every time someone mentions Timescape. But yeah, basically, Games Workshop have changed quite a lot since the original Timescape came out, which is entirely fair. Like, Timescape came out in the late 80s, early 90s. Everyone's changed since the 90s. And Timescape now just doesn't really fit with what they want Talisman to be or what they want Warhammer to be. So hopefully that answers your question. There was never any plans to make it. I think it was brought up a while ago, and then it was explained to us why it wouldn't be a thing. With the rising popularity of Warhammer games, has there been any discussion of adapting Relic, since it's basically a 40k talisman? Yes, as Frici points out, 40k talisman already existed. It was the Horus Heresy. I realise that's not exactly Relic, but in terms of talisman looking like a non-talisman game, that's essentially what Horus Heresy was. It was talisman in a Warhammer setting. Well, it is a relic now. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Good one. But for real, Horus Heresy was as close as we're going to get to Relic, internally, at least. And basically, for anyone that doesn't know the history of it, when it comes to any Games Workshop licensed property, you have to pay to use the license, because you are using the license to generate sales. They're not going to give you that for free. They will charge you to use that license, which is fair. And we needed to pay a certain amount. I can't remember if it's annually or quarterly or whatever it was, in order to keep the license for Horus Heresy active, so that we could continue selling the game. We needed to have an active licensing agreement in order to continue selling the game, because it wasn't our IP at the end of the day. We didn't own the IP. And basically, the year before we took Horus Heresy off sale, the amount of income that it was generating was less than we were paying to keep it available to purchase, which sucks, because it basically meant that we were losing money by keeping it up, which isn't a good position to be in. So we had to make the tough call and say, look, we can't afford to keep Horus Heresy up for sale, even if we'd like to. So sadly, Horus Heresy had to get delisted. And I think the fact that Horus Heresy, also the AI, also lost against the Infernal Legion, which is the same people that I lost to. So further proof that the AI doesn't cheat. What was I saying? The fact that the Horus Heresy basically didn't do well enough to cover its own costs meant that we would be very, very, very reluctant to make Relic. Not because we know that Relic's going to do badly, it's just that we have previously put out a Talisman game that is themed around Warhammer, and it has not done well. So, do I even have any followers? I do. It's the unicorn. I am not going to do that. I'm going to get a strength. Yeah, I think I'd rather get a strength than lose a unicorn. How would it be best to contact you in private? I want to mention something Talisman related, but don't want to put you on the spot publicly. Send me a Discord DM. That's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me. If you join the Nomad Discord, if you're not on there already, or I think you are, Geeky Chappy. Go on there and send me a DM. You'll be able to find me on there, unless we've already talked previously. I think we've already talked previously, but can't remember. Alright. I am just not active, will do. Appreciate it. Alright, what have we got in the game? we have the dwarf trying to... Oh, have you got a talisman? Oh, you cheeky little... I'm going to have to go for it. I'm going to have to actually go for it, because... Have I got a talisman? Oh, I don't have a talisman. And I've got a warlock quest? No, I don't have a warlock quest. Oh, I can, however, fight you. I can fight him. Yeah, you can always beat him up and take his. That's what I'm going to do. Alright. It's fight time. 4 versus 4. What's the moon charm do? Yeah, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna steal your talisman, you little fool. Oh, gutted, mate. Gutted. I'm gonna steal your talisman. How upsetting for you. Oh, I'm well chuffed with that. I'm well chuffed with that. The AI always cheats unless I win, then I did it on my own. It's true. That is 100% truth. Have you thought about giving the option to turn off fate? I believe it's mentioned before, but I don't think we've thought about implementing it as a house rule. Finally, some action, yes. I've just sort of been doodling about getting my stats up, but I've got action, got a fight. I wonder what the dwarf's going to do now, because I've sort of just ruined his plans. Hey, Talisman Island. Hey, John. How's it going? Welcome to a chill Talisman stream, where I'm in between jobs. I say in between jobs, I'm writing the next monthly roundup, and before I do, I thought I might as well stream some Talisman. I think my physical games of Talisman end up taking longer than they should because everyone is too nice to each other. Fair. That's fair. I think there's certain games where there's too much disincentive from going for each other. I feel like making an enemy in Talisman is a dangerous thing, and it's not to say you shouldn't do it, but I know a lot of people are worried that, I don't want to put a target on my back. Let's go, which way's the craft way? Strength, craft, counter space, roll dice. That's alright. Gain a craft. I can do that. At least I know the dwarf isn't going to go there. I think my physical games of Talisman are taking longer than they should be. They were just too nice to each other. Going well, been a toad yet. I have not been a toad yet. I got close. If an enemy had rolled doubles, I would have been a toad, but I managed to avoid it, so it's alright. Attack everyone. Yeah, that's also a viable strategy. That is definitely a viable strategy. If you've only just tuned in, John, we've been talking about how much we'd like to do Talisman 5th edition if we got the chance, and we've been talking about the 40th anniversary collection. Use that misfortune on Reaper rolls. It's true. So yeah, well, there's only one real thing happening with the 40th anniversary collection. We can still theorise about 5th edition. We can definitely do that. Everyone's losing to this Infernal Legion. Absolutely everyone. Actually, the dwarf might be able to do it. Ooh, I think you will be able to do it. That'll do it. That will do it. So what did you get? The gnome. A steak. Not bad. Not bad. I just need to make sure the dwarf doesn't make another break for the middle. So let's roll the dice. Add 1. Can I gain a craft? Be really nice if I could. That is 8. Gain a spell. Okay. It's not the most exciting thing ever. But let's heal the samurai and cancel my own spell. By the time 5th edition comes out, I may have just paid close to 50% of my character models. It's a long process doing painting. I like model building, but miniature painting, I've never been able to. I'm sure I would enjoy it, because I know a lot of people that have said miniature painting is just really relaxing and really chill. Like, you can just put a podcast on and do some miniature painting, but I've never been able to do it. I think I've got not enough patience for tiny little paints. But I'd like to try it at some point. Waiting for my 3 copies of the 40th collection. They're gonna look nice together on the shelf. Not long now. Not long at all. I was saying to someone earlier on the stream, I'm pretty sure it's coming out mid-October, but it's been a nightmare trying to figure out where it's coming out, when it's coming out. My last Talisman game ended after a 2-strength 4-craft tinkerer killed the Lord of Darkness using the insta-kill spell and won the winner takes all ending. That's insanity. Oh, we got Toad! Toad on Samurai. My favourite TV show growing up as a kid. Unfortunately, Samurai does beat Toad. Just before I asked if they can implement the Forest Highland Connection expansion, if you want to hear the answer and go back into the VOD a bit. Yeah. Basically, we'd like to. It's just whether or not we would be able to. Alright. What is even here? We've got the shrine. Yeah, I'll pray at the shrine. I've got cool pray abilities. So let's destroy a harvest horror. Yep, that's an automatic murder. And then gain a gold. Yeah, I'd rather gain a spell than a gold. I feel like that's more useful. I'll rewatch it later, especially if Tom gets toaded. I'm not gonna get toaded. I'm gonna avoid toading. Any new plans for Talisman Origins? Sadly, not. We'd really like to do more stuff for Talisman Origins, but unfortunately, it just didn't really sell compared to Digital Edition. Like, it still did okay, and we still appreciate having it there as sort of like a introduction to Talisman. But however, it just didn't really set the world alight like we wanted to. So no, sadly, we don't have any more plans for Talisman Origins. Because anything that we did add to it, we would basically be in a really tough spot because we wouldn't get enough revenue to justify carrying on working on it. When it arrives, I'm easy. That's for next month, Tom. Make a run for the crown as a clear front runner, then someone landed on the assassin card in the city and played 3 gold to kill me. I was so gutted. Oh yeah, the assassin can be a proper pain in the ass. Ooh, we'll discard this. It's only worth 1. Bolster. We'll take a bolster. What's on the mug? It is Rogue One from that lovely, lovely Star Wars. It is my favourite mug. It used to live in the Nomad office because I left it there when we all started working from home at the start of the pandemic, and I didn't go in for like 2 years, but now it's back where it belongs with me. Preliminary pumpkin stabbing. Yes. It's not even Halloween yet, and I'm already slaughtering pumpkins. Alright, what's happening in the game? We have the samurai at the graveyard. The dwarf is still a toad, but it looks like he might survive. And the dwarf is back. Alright. So let's roll and see where we want to go. Yes, I have a warlock quest. So I need to increase my craft. So let's see if we can fight something that'll increase my craft. Alright, what we got? Nah, I don't want the axe. Do I not have any spells? No, I don't actually have any spells or gold. So So I've just seen Geeky Chappie's message. Don't worry, you're not going to get anyone in trouble. It's all good. I can fully explain that. So it's actually a bit of a funny story, a bit of insight. So for anyone, obviously no one knows because Geeky Chappie's just messaged me directly. When we did the Steam sale, we have a system on the developer backend for Talisman where you can mark whether or not something is on sale or not. And if it is, then it'll highlight it on the main menu. Super basic, just throws up whatever's on sale. And it'll highlight things that you don't already own, which makes sense, right? You don't want to see if anything's on sale that you don't already own. And what happened was, oh no, different to the regional thing. What happens was, back when we originally made the digital only expansions, we'd planned for 4 expansions, one of which was the not the Deep Realms, the Deep Sea expansion. So we set up a mini season pass that contained the 4 digital only expansions that we were planning on releasing. The Deep Sea ended up not happening for a number of different reasons. Basically, we realised it would take a lot more work than we had the capacity to do at the time, and that sort of just continued since then. However, the mini season pass that contained the 4 digital expansions still technically exists in the back end. It doesn't contain anything because it contains the 3 expansions that do exist, and it contains the very basic info for the Deep Sea. It's not old news, it's actually brought something to the forefront that shouldn't have been seen by anyone. So when we set up the last sale that we ran, we were like, okay, well, everything's discounted. We will press this button and then it'll do automatically show you everything that you don't already own. And for anyone that owns absolutely everything in Talisman, it goes, okay, well, what don't you already own? And it went, oh, you don't own this mini season pass that contains the Ancient Beasts, Clockwork Kingdom, Realm of Souls, and the deep sea, because that was still something that was set up in the back end. I'm going to roll my dice and try and earn a craft, by the way. Is that craft? No, it is not. How annoying. No, I could gain some fate. Yeah, I'll gain some fate. Yeah, so that still exists on the back end because we've not really had any need to get rid of it. So when we pressed that button that said turn everything on to sail mode, it also went, oh, okay, well, if everything's on sale, then that means the mini season pass for the digital only stuff's on sale. That means that the deep sea is on sale. If you clicked on it, it wouldn't take you anywhere because it never linked to anything. So yeah, for anyone that did manage to see that, there was like a 2-hour window where you'd be able to see that in game. You got to witness something you shouldn't have. But no, sadly, it's not a big secret conspiracy to hide the deep sea expansion. It's just, it was set up in the back end and we pressed a button that we shouldn't have. I hope something new was in the works since it said working title. I think it said working title because it literally never got past that point. But yes, you saw something that you shouldn't have seen, Geeky Chappy. But thank you for raising it. I appreciate you shouting it out. But no, sadly, you didn't uncover the secret hidden expansion that we've been working on. Sorry to crush the old Talisman dreams. Right, where do I want to go? Do I have a spell? I do not. However, I can go to the hills. Oh, but no. You're still pretty cool in my book for being able to find that. Because like I said, there was a very small window you'd be able to see that. Alright, let's see what we're going to do. I saw that too, but realised what happened, and by the time I got home, it was gone. Yeah, it did trigger a bit of internal panic when we realised it was being shown to people. We were like, hang on. Well, why is that come up? Oh, fix it now. Luckily, because the back-end system doesn't require a update being rolled out, and we were able to fix it pretty easily. Didn't want to mention it on stream in case it put you on the spot, so thanks for clearing that up. Hey, no worries. I'm very happy to clear that up. And it's the kind of thing where I feel like it gives a good insight into what happens behind the scenes here at Nomad. Like, there's a lot of stuff where, you know, you wouldn't necessarily be able to talk about that, or you wouldn't know that that's what's happened, but let's use the horn of summoning. Yeah, it's purely down to how we originally set up and what our original plans were for the digital exclusive stuff. But I think that kind of stuff's quite interesting to talk about because it's a peek behind the scenes that you wouldn't normally get, right? Who have we got? We've got lots of enemies on here. Let's get some bats. But no, if anyone wants to put me on the spot about anything, they're more than welcome to. I know that there's, I've been so busy this week, there's a guy on Reddit that I need to reply to. So as soon as I finish this stream, I'm going to go reply to him. It's about, where's it about? He sent me a message ages ago asking about something. I was like, okay, well, it's on the to-do list. What was it about? I'll find my Reddit messages. Oh, it was about the in-game chat for Talisman. So yeah, basically we haven't had a proper chance to look at it. But he deserves to know why, so I'm going to reply to him once I finish the stream, like I said. So we've got another question coming in. We absolutely love the Nomad transparency situations. Yeah, it's honestly very important. Well, that's the thing, like, it's nothing bad. Nothing bad happened. Like, it's literally just because of how we set up the back end. But like I said, I find that stuff interesting when other developers talk about it, so I figure I might as well talk about it with you guys. I was wondering if there's a workaround for spell queuing in offline multiplayer games. Workaround? What do you mean, workaround? Last weekend I found out I can't queue spells against all players when we play on one controller. Okay, I see what you mean. So if you want to queue up a spell that goes against someone else, but you're already playing on one controller, how do you go about doing that? Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. I don't think there's a workaround, but I think there is things that we could probably do to make that work a bit easier. I know that that'll be fairly low on the priorities list, but it's definitely something we can put down as this is something that the community have requested. So sadly, I don't think there is an active workaround, but I was about to say but something. Yeah, we can still look at it and say, yeah, what could we do if we wanted to do anything? Let's poach some spirits. Let's get a Shiver Nymph. A giant, an actual giant. Last weekend I found out I can't queue spells. I think I'll update the old Talisman Island expansion and call it the Deep Sea. Yeah, could do that. Just call it like the Deeper Sea or something like that, just to make it clearly distinct, right? So is Talisman complete now, or is there still a possibility of a new expansion or at least character packs in the future? It's a tricky one. So we would like to do more stuff. However, with these rumours of the 5th edition being around the corner, we don't want to start development on something and then 3 months into a 6-month development cycle find out that, oh, actually the 5th edition is going to be out later this year and everyone's more excited for that and they want to see us make a digital edition of the 5th edition, because then it's just 3 months that have gone down the drain. So until we know for sure, also I managed to beat that giant barely, nice, good job me. Until we know that for sure, we're very hesitant to make anything new for Talisman. Not that we wouldn't, but like I said, we're quite hesitant to do it. Have I got enough craft? Can I smash all my craft things together? I can. Can I do it for this? No. Let's smush all my craft things together. And then... do I already have a talisman? Pretty sure I already have a talisman. I do. Turn into a toad for 3 turns. Ooh, nice. Let's do it on the dwarf, because... hey, you could do with turning into a toad, because you're my biggest rival at the moment. Yeah, so basically at the moment we're going to say it's complete until we hear otherwise. Yeah, has anyone got any more questions for the Nomad team? Because like I said, I'm currently working on the next edition of the Nomad Monthly Roundup, which you'll be able to find on all of our socials. If you... if you check out all of our socials, which I can't remember... hang on. trying to remember how to do. That's it. It's an exclamation mark. You've got my back, Frucci. You've got my back. That's the one. Yeah. If you check out all of our cool socials, you'll be able to see where we're at when it comes to the monthly roundup, because I'll be posting that on next week. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Follow us on all the socials, because that's where you'll find where we're doing cool stuff. You've got Blue Sky yet? We've not got Blue Sky. We probably should, but no, we've not jumped on it yet. Mainly because the way that... So for anyone that doesn't know, I am the only marketing person here at Nomad. Like John rightly points out, you haven't got enough to do. The issue with Threads and Blue Sky and Mastodon is that when I do our company social media, I use a social media management platform that makes it super easy to put everything that we're doing on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of the different channels that we have, like the main ones. It's super easy to do it through that. Threads, I haven't been keeping up with it. Can you even use Threads in a browser yet? Last time I checked, it was still mobile only. So having to go through the effort of not only creating all that social media content, but uploading it to my phone and then sorting it out on the mobile-only Threads app, it just makes it such a faff. And like I said, I'm the only person here at Nomad who does all our socials, all our publishing, all of our marketing, all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that is customer-facing. So yeah, trying to manage social media accounts on Blue Sky and Threads that have a little bit of engagement, but not much, it's tricky. 5. Gain a strength or gain a craft? Let's gain a craft. I think I might be able to win this. I don't mean to brag, but I think I might be able to win this. Yeah, because John, you're on Blue Sky and Threads and all that sort of stuff, aren't you? Yeah, I need to set that up just so that we've got it sorted. Like, I don't think we'll actively use it at the moment. But I might as well get on there and dibs the Nomad Games name before someone else does. Yeah, like, personally, I only really use Instagram for social media because I don't want to read anyone's opinions. I just want to look at things, which I think is fair. I don't really care what anyone's opinion is. I don't want to know what someone else thinks about certain things. I just want to see nice things. Let's roll the dice. Cool. Let's leave a sword. Let's try and get to the centre. Yeah, if anyone would like to see us on those social media platforms, let us know. Like, that's the only real way that I know that you want us to be on there, is if you tell me. So yes, let's see what's going on. So we've got the samurai heading towards the village. Skips next human player. For anyone that doesn't know, that's a very cool function that you can use. Strength. Let's see if I can craft my way through the mines. Is that right? Yeah, I think that is. Cool. I sometimes use Sprout for my work. It annoys me that you can't reply to Facebook stuff after 7 days. Yeah, we use Buffer. I know there's tons of different social media. Like, I've used Hootsuite before, and they'll basically do the same thing. But yeah, trying to keep an eye on all of our socials and our emails and everything else that's going on. Funnily enough, is a full-time job. Right, Axe, Disciple of Darkness. There's a lot of stuff left there. Oh, that's where the dwarf became a toad. That makes sense. That makes sense. Alright, what are you doing, Mr. Dwarf? Head to the graveyard. Nice. You have only got 1 life left. So it ain't looking good for the old dwarf. However, it is looking good for me. Let's re-roll. Cool. Do I want to ditch the... No, I don't want to ditch. Alright, cool. Remember they weren't too fond of the idea of it much like Mastodon, which they also don't support if I remember correctly. Yeah, buffers seem to be a bit slow when it comes to adding those new platforms, but to be fair, like, I think I've pretty much made the call that as a business, our time's better spent elsewhere. Like, I'd rather put time into our Discord, our emails, the Discord's probably the best place for us. And our streams. Like, I think I'd rather be able to do this for you guys and stream onto Steam than set up a Blue Sky and go through the rigmarole every week of trying to sort out social posts on there. Alright, pits. Let's get in the pits. I think I might win. Don't mean to brag, but I think I might win this game with Talisman. I think I'm going to achieve the impossible, because I might be the first person to ever beat the AI in Talisman. Not to brag. Alright, Pit Fiend, show me what you got. Show me what you got. You got nothing. You got nothing. Nothing on my skills. Alright, maybe you might have something now. Alright, no, you don't. You still have nothing. Alright, that's a successful combat. Everyone else can carry on living their lives. What is the background music you are playing now? I currently have on 12 hours of copyright-free music, Twitch-safe music for streamers and creators from the Relaxed Movement on YouTube. So it is literally just a 12-hour playlist of chill background music that I put on when I stream, because I like the Talisman music, but listening to it for like 2 hours drives me a bit insane. Like, nothing against the Talisman music, but if I have to listen to that twiddly flute, it just gets a bit much. Sounds good to work to. It is. I generally tend to listen to music while I'm working as well. It's already seared deeply into my brain. Yeah, I think when like you're lying in bed and trying to go to sleep, all you hear in your brain is it's, you'll never forget it. Alright, Valley of Fire. I love the Talisman music, but I also have it off usually after 3,000 hours across platforms. It is just too much. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is it's good music, but any music after 3,000 hours is going to get to a point where you're like, I can't listen to this anymore. I can't. Like, you could listen to the best music of your life, but 3,000 hours. Sometimes I play it for physical games just to drive my friends batty. Nice. I know quite a few people, so for Fury of Dracula, we released the digital soundtrack for it. And I know a lot of people use the digital soundtrack as they're playing the physical game, which is quite cool. Alright, at this point, by the way, in the game, I'm not that bothered about what everyone else is doing because I'm one step away from the Crown of Command. So let's go ahead and get on that. And then let's cast the command spell and see if we can take out the dwarf. Counter spell, you saucy little samurai. I am getting my cast spells up though, so that's quite good, because it does count as a spell. But yeah, I think if I was locked in a room and forced to listen to Talisman music, we'll know the bong noise when someone loses a life too. That's quite good. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. I think that bong noise can probably be used in a lot of situations, to be fair. Like if you have one of those compilations where people are just falling over, just play the bong sound. Sound? Play the bong sound. Alright. Everyone's gathered together to have a fight. Am I stuck in a healing loop? Oh, please don't say I'm stuck in a healing loop. Really hope I'm not stuck in a healing loop. Alright, everyone lose a life. What are you gonna do? What's your witch doctory plans? Alright, gain gold. That's fine. Gain as much gold as you want. I'm not fussed about you gaining gold. Samurai, what are you doing? What are you doing and what are you planning? Alright, the Grace Hearted is healing people, which is a little bit annoying. But there's a house rule that lets you make it so that once you reach the Crown of Command, no one can heal, which is quite nice. I don't know why I didn't turn it on. I should have turned it on. I think that's my foolishness. Let's see if I can kill the dwarf. Yes! That is dwarf murder. No more hearts house rule. Yeah, that's the one. No more heals. No more heals. Alright. I have a Judged by Fate ending that devolved into doing laps around the city and spending all my gold slowly as a soothsayer to replenish all of my fate. Yeah, I think that's why we really like those house rules. Because there's certain things where if you were playing the physical game, you would just turn to everyone and go, come on, let's just stop messing around. Let's stop infinitely healing because the game's never going to end. However, if you're an artificial intelligence, you have no concept of time. You do not feel the slow pull of entropy. So really, you are playing to your only out because you know you'll be able to last forever, and human bodies do not. At least not yet. Insta-win, Crown of Command. Yeah. There is an ending, right, where if you reach the Crown of Command, you just instantly win, which I quite like. Because if you've gone through all the effort to get the Crown of Command and no one stopped you, it's probably fine. You can probably say you've won. Alright, got Samurai rolling around at the speed of sound. Let's see. Command spell. Yes. Make everyone lose a life. I'm cool with that. I'm very cool with that. I think there's a certain set of rules you should always have on if you don't want your games to drag on forever. Yeah, that's true. Again, I can't remember why I didn't set the house rule up this time. Oh, don't be going to the Grace Hide, you fool. How are you doing that? You've got loads of mules. You've got so many mules. There's a Star Trek episode where Data plays some game master he can't beat if he tries to win, but figures out he can infinitely keep him at a stalemate, and the guy gets angry and forfeits. It's fair. Alright, I'm going to skip to next human player, and I'm going to cast the Crown of Command spell, see what happens. Because I think I can take out the Samurai, and I don't think the Witch Doctor's got enough consistent healing to be a issue. So let's cast the command spell, see what we do. Alright, nothing. Cast the command spell. Like to do some damage, please. Nope. Alright, next turn. Everyone's back to full health. Sort of annoying. Sort of annoying. Alright, no effect. Witch Doctor's down to 3. How do you skip to next human player? So if it's not your turn, so currently it's the Witch Doctor's turn, if I click anywhere, it'll pause the game while it's the AI's turn. And I can either resume game, or I can skip to next human player. So hopefully that's just giving you a way to speed up your games. Couldn't win myself to stop him from winning, so kept doing that. It's fair. Then they have repeated pleas. I had to go to work the next day. It was dragging on quite a bit. How do you skip the next human player? How dare they heal? Yeah. It's rude, I know. Alright, they are now both back at full health. Let's cast the command spell, see what we can do. 1. Well, hope you're all ready for me to regret my life choices. It's hours and hours. 1. Like, it's the fact that it doesn't happen every time. If there was ever an advert for making sure you put on those house rules, this is it. This is definitely it. Alright, everyone lose a life. Skip to next human player. You are gaining more life. I just need to get a cycle of good rolls. And that's not a good roll, so good for me. Let's skip next human player. Everyone, oh no, Samurai's still low. Just need to get more rolls. Yes, alright, come on. Come on. The game knows you're skipping and is punishing you. Ooh. Ooh. Getting close. Getting close. Just need a good roll. That's all I need. That's a good roll. That's a good roll. I'm happy with that roll. Ooh. Come on, 4, 5, 6. Come on, 4, 5, 6. Not happy. If you gain a life now, I'm gonna be so miffed. Alright, you didn't gain a life. Chance again. Let's try again. At least it's not the early edition where you had to just target just one opponent with the Crown of Command and roll 50-50. And kill one player while the others got stronger. Samurai's dead! Death to the samurai. That's actually an interesting way of doing it. I didn't realise that they had that method of the Crown of Command spell working in the old game. That's interesting. Right. Cast the command spell. Oh, have I done it? Have I won? Am I the Talisman? I've beaten the AI. They said it couldn't be done. They said it was impossible. But here I am, victorious. After that, pretty happy with that. Alright, I had the highest strength. I was the most intelligent, it's true. And I was the winner. I am forever delayed, but still feeling pretty good about that. Alright, update all my stats. Got way more 5s than anything else, but still within acceptable limits. Oh yes, how is everyone enjoying the new avatars that we added? When we did the Steam sale, we added a bunch of new avatars. I think we're also going to add some for Halloween, so that should be quite fun. Personally, I do like the is that the Doomsayer? Am I showing my lack of Talisman knowledge? You also have the Highlander, who's just like this. Ooh. Which I appreciate. Are they DLC or unlockable? These are just on your account by default. You can unlock more through challenges. So I think, yeah, you'll get an avatar for beating certain challenges, and you'll get titles for beating certain challenges. But I think the ones that are just from expansions, those are unlocked by default. So you can dress up as a tree man if you like. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to the Highlander because I like his face. He's got a very funny face. Got any cool titles? No, I think I'll stick with Forever Delayed. Alright, well, I think that's good as place as any to end the latest developer stream. But thank you everyone for tuning in. And I'm going to upload this onto our streaming computer, so you can just watch it on Steam whenever you want. I'll also upload it onto our YouTube because that's always a good place to put them. But no, I massively appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's a good way of spending an hour and a half while I'm in between jobs. Yeah, keep an eye out for our next Nomad Games monthly roundup. It'll be on all of our socials next week, either Monday or Tuesday, depending on how soon it gets approved. And yeah, we'll talk about all the cool stuff we did in September. And thank you very much everyone for tuning in. I'm going to sneeze. So before I sneeze, I'm going to say goodbye. But I massively appreciate you all. And I massively appreciate everyone that picked up anything Talisman in the sale that we had recently. It means that we can keep doing the things that we're doing, which is always nice. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you all soon, probably. All right, bye.